Good evening, friends, and thank you very much for being here this afternoon. Coincidentally, this is also the 52nd time that we meet in this format during the course of this year. We've met on many occasions once a week, but we've also met more than once a week, and on some weeks we haven't met. Perhaps this is the last time that I will meet you this year. And so thank you all very much for coming, although this is sandwiched between two holidays. I have one announcement to make, following which I'm willing to answer questions on that. And if you have, after that, any questions on anything else, I'm willing to answer those too. So let me begin with the announcement, and that is the External Affairs Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, will be traveling to Seoul from 28th to the 30th of this month. This will be for the 8th session of the India-Republic of Korea Joint Commission meeting. Apart from her, she will co-chair the Joint Commission along with her counterpart, the Korean Foreign Minister, Mr. Yoon Byung-si. Apart from that, she will call on the President of the Republic of Korea, Madam Park Geun-hye. She will have meetings with the Minister of National Defense, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Energy, the National Security Advisor, and leading Korean industrialists. This is the first structured multi-stakeholder discussion between the government of India, led by, after the change of the government in India, and the Republic of Korea. The Indian delegation, therefore, will have representatives from the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Shipping, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, the Ministry of Electronics, apart from the Ministry of External Affairs, of course. India and the Republic of Korea have friction-free relationship. You are aware that both the External Affairs Minister as well as the Prime Minister have met their respective counterparts previously on the margins of various multilateral meetings. And each is very keen to both India and Korea are very keen to take our relationship forward. We have a robust trade relationship with the annual trade in the vicinity of in excess of $16 billion. During the course of our discussions, efforts to increase bilateral trade will be a major point of discussion. As you are perhaps aware, the Republic of Korea has a substantive trade surplus over India, and therefore the External Affairs Minister is likely to raise issues of trying to bridge this gap, specifically by inviting industrialists from the Republic of Korea to participate in the Make in India campaign that has been launched earlier this year. Currently, there are 300 Korean companies who have invested approximately $3 billion and who employ about 40,000 people in India. Also, Indian companies have invested approximately $2 billion in Korea, and some of our leading names have acquired Korean companies, including the Tatas and Mahindras, as well as the Aditya Birla Group. Now, we have a fairly well-developed dialogue structure with the Republic of Korea, with discussions in various sectors. The External Affairs Minister's visit to Seoul is an effort to intensify our exchanges with an important country which we consider crucial to our Act East policy and will be actively focused on encouraging Korea to seek investment opportunities in India, to manufacture for the Indian market and beyond as part of the Make in India campaign. I will stop here. I'm willing to answer any questions that you may have relating to the External Affairs Minister's visit to Korea or anything else after that. Yes, sir. Dr. Akhilesh Suman.
So this may be the last question of this year to you.
From you.
My last question.
Yes.
You said that the trade deficit between Korea and India is in favor of Korea. So has Korea put any type of restriction on Indian goods in Korea, or it is just natural that we are making something not conducive to a Korean market?
No, let me put it another way. Electronics is a major item of consumption among the Indian population in terms of usage, and therefore many of you use Korean-made smartphones, Korean-made white goods, and therefore it is normal for trade flows to follow that. On the other hand, areas of our export have been affected by various elements. These include, for example, that there were some items that we were previously exporting, but due to our own requirements within India, we've stopped exporting those. So this has had an impact on trade relations. But that said, Korea is a major exporting country. It has surplus with a large number of countries, including India. The effort is to seek Korean investments in India, request Korean companies to consider building in India, manufacturing in India, as part of the Make in India campaign. Yes, sir. Ranjit?
Yeah. What is the status of nuclear cooperation agreement that India and Korea have signed?
Yeah. India and Korea, as you are aware, have signed a civil nuclear cooperation agreement. Following that, the last discussion that we had with the Republic of Korea was in December this month, during which there was a fairly detailed exchange of views on what would be the areas in which that we can seek cooperation from the Republic of Korea in the field of nuclear, civil nuclear cooperation. And we identified this as research and development, training of our scientific personnel, and working together on next generation reactors. So these were the areas that we mutually identified, and we will take this process forward because both India and Korea have considerable interest in nuclear energy as part of our respective energy mixes. Yes, sir.
So India had recently cancelled a proposed defense deal with South Korea for 8 minesweeper vessels from the Gangnam Corporation, and the Koreans were very upset about it. So will this issue be raised during the talks between Ms. Swaraj and her Korean counterpart?
Shipbuilding is an important industry in Korea. They are amongst the leading shipbuilders in the world. And we seek cooperation from the Republic of Korea in terms of participating in shipbuilding activities in India. We are extremely keen that Korean shipyards participate in our shipbuilding activities, including in the defense sector, as again part of what I had mentioned to you specifically, the Make in India campaign, which also provides for 49% foreign investment in the defense sector. So therefore, we welcome Korean participation in defense manufacturing joint ventures, and to participate in our defense acquisition programs. We feel that such cooperation will engender an ecosystem that will help both India and Korea in this important sector. Anyone else on the Republic of Korea? Otherwise, the floor is open for anything else that you may want. Just 1 minute. Sachin?
Sir, there are some reports which suggest that India is going to shift its stand on Palestine.
Yes. Let me try and frame this properly. The first thing is that, please do not see foreign policy as a choice between two polar extremes. And such reports only emanate when you see foreign policy of an either-or choice. Now, as regards your specific question, I can state that there is no change in our policy of extending traditionally strong support for the Palestinian cause while maintaining good relations with Israel. And let me tell you the facts in this case. Those of you who follow Parliament, may I suggest, have a look at the parliamentary records of 21st July 2014. The External Affairs Minister, in a policy statement to the Rajya Sabha on the Gaza conflict, specifically stated that our strong support for the Palestinian cause remains while maintaining good relations with Israel. Subsequently, at the United Nations, there was a NAM Ministerial Committee meeting on Palestine on 26 September 2014 in New York. The External Affairs Minister then said that India, as a founding member of the non-aligned movement, has always supported the cause of the Palestinian people, which has been a core feature of our foreign policy, and that our stance on the Palestinian question was inspired by our own freedom struggle led by Mahatma Gandhi. If those are the moorings of our support for the cause, for the Palestinian cause, you can be certain it is not going to change. However, for those who want reiterations all the time, I would like to draw your attention to another statement subsequent to that statement, and this was the Prime Minister's message to the United Nations on the occasion of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. This was celebrated on 24th November 2014. In this statement, Prime Minister reiterated India's support for the cause of Palestine and solidarity with the Palestinian people for their struggle for a sovereign, independent, viable, and united state of Palestine within secure and recognized borders, side by side, at peace with Israel and with East Jerusalem as its capital. I rest my case. Yes, sir. Gautam?
Well, my question relates to Assam violence. There are reports that Bodo militants have fled or they are taking shelter in neighboring countries like Bhutan and Myanmar. Whether External Affairs Ministry has made any contact with these two countries for any coordinated move or any joint effort being launched?
To tackle terrorism is a national endeavor, and therefore it is normal if there are such reports, we will contact our friendly neighboring countries. I can confirm to you that the External Affairs Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, has talked to the Bhutanese leadership at the highest level. We are also working on having contacts with others who could possibly help us in this. Once those are completed, I will share with you those details also. Yes, Srinjoy?
So India had made an earlier effort to extradite, get back Kim Davey for questioning. Recently, we've heard that the MEA had written to the MHA and then the CBI on this issue. Did the CBI and the MHA get back to the MEA on this issue? And has India asked for extradition of Kim Davey?
Srinjoy, you are aware that I do not indulge in intra-ministerial dialogue-related responses. That said, King Davey is for us a terrorist who we would like extradited. Regarding the modalities, this is a separate process, and when this is ready, I will certainly share with you. But make no mistake that we will go after anybody who has harmed the security of India. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Recently, there was a school teacher in Maldives who was in jail, and he has been released and he reached India. So, can you elaborate the efforts taken by the MEA and the Minister of External Affairs on this regard?
You know, it is part of a clear and certain policy that we follow in terms of trying to assist our nationals in difficulties. This is a consular effort that all our missions are committed to. The External Affairs Minister has herself repeatedly stated that one of the priority areas that all Indian missions should focus on is to assist Indian nationals in difficulties. It is in that context our High Commission in Male was in touch with the Maldives government, and through a process of understanding what the issues were and working it out with them, we have been able to request and get the Maldives government to release this person who has been deported. He landed last night and is back with his family today. Yes, I think you wanted, no? Yes, sir. Yeah, Manas? Yeah, sure.
Has the External Affairs Minister, in fact, taken up the issue with Bhutanese leadership after Assam attack?
Yes, this issue came up following possible leads which indicated that there may be others beyond Indian borders where we require assistance. And therefore, the External Affairs Minister did take it up with the Bhutanese leadership to seek their support in what we see as a national endeavor to tackle the scourge that is creating a problem there. And she is also working on trying to contact other friendly countries in this context. And once this is done, we will let you know. What is the Stranger, you finish your chance. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Akbar, Devayani Khobragade is again in news, and she has given interviews to newspapers, to the visual media also, and it is said that she has crossed the limits actually of her administrative authority. So what is her status right now, and whether the government of India is going to take up the matter again with the US authorities?
I think you mixed up a multiplicity of questions. As regards the officer concerned, Devyani Khobragade is an officer of the Indian Foreign Service. She is bound by the rules of the service, and our interactions with her will be in that ambit. She has herself repeated on several times that she sees herself as functioning within the ambit of those rules. That said, there was an proceedings which has led to certain disciplinary action related to her. That has been completed. She has been informed about this. And if there are any other things that have been brought to the notice of the concerned authorities in the Ministry of External Affairs, they will focus on this and take appropriate steps in this regard. At this stage, what has been completed is a process which started several months ago, and that's completed. That's where we are on this. As regards the US, this is a matter, you are aware, that has been a residual factor in the sad incident that took place before. We will take it appropriately in the manner we deem fit and in a manner we deem it appropriate to proceed with this matter. Yes, Mr. Venkatam.
But on the 22nd of this month, there was an exchange of imprisoned fishermen between India and Sri Lanka. The Indians were saying their ships have not been returned. What is actually the position, and are there any more ships and fishermen of Sri Lanka and Indians left?
There are some Indian fishermen, there are some Sri Lankan fishermen still in custody in, I think, in Andhra Pradesh, and there are some Indian fishermen still in custody in Sri Lanka. We are working with the Sri Lankan government to try and resolve this at the earliest. We've repeated this several times that we need to address these issues as humanitarian problems and take a view that understands the difficulties that these poor fishermen face. I can tell you that since the beginning of the year, more than 700 Indian fishermen who had been in Sri Lankan custody in for different periods of time have returned to India. We will continue with those who are left over. There are a small number who are still there. We are working with the Sri Lankan government and will try and ensure their return at the earliest. As regards the boats, this is a matter that we are in touch with the Sri Lankan government. This is a more complex matter. They have a view on this. We have an alternate view on this. But as friends who discuss these things candidly, we remain in consultations and we will take this forward. Yes. Yes, sir. I will. Yes, just hold on. We get this mic.
So this is regarding President Obama's visit. Although the visit is still a month, but there are reports that President Obama may visit to Varanasi and Agra. So can you please have the details?
I mean, if I start commenting of every report, what he wears, what he is going to come with, how many planes are going to come, how many policemen are being deployed, we'll never get a correct thing. The program, I can assure you, has not been finalized. Once the program is finalized and everybody is on board in both our countries, we will certainly share it with you. Until then, you can consider all such reports as mere speculation. Yes. Yes, he is waiting, Mauricio. I'm giving him that chance, so if you want. Yes, Mauricio. Yes. Just a minute.
Thank you. I hope it is the last question on the Italian Marines, but I don't think so. After it was officially confirmed that there is an Italian proposal that has been examined or is examined by the Indian government, can we say that we entered a new stage of the solution of this problem?
Mauricio, it's difficult to try and explain to you where we stand on that, for the simple reason that the matter is also sub judice. While the executive may have a view and may consider various options, ultimately this matter is sub judice and it will have to go through the legal process and an understanding of the judiciary on this before we proceed further. So at this stage, You are aware that just about a few days ago that the Italian government did try to seek an extension of the stay of one of those Marines in Italy. The government of India was not in contradiction or opposed to this. However, the judiciary had a view, and you are aware what the judicial view was. They took strong exception to this. And therefore, the Italian government or the Council for the Marines withdrew that petition. So please understand that this is not a discussion only between two executive authorities. It involves India's judiciary, which is free, fair, and impartial, and it will take an independent view of this. Yes, sir.
Sir, which are the other countries EM is contacting for this Assam violence?
Once she has completed that process, I am willing to share it with you. At this stage, I can confirm to you that she has had consultations with the Bhutanese leadership at the highest level on this subject and has been assured of support. Once her other consultations are over, I will share it with you. I think it's not proper for us to preempt those discussions. Let them finish and we will share it with you. Yes, sir.
Sir, apart from defense deal, Russia has recently signed an energy deal with Pakistan. So is growing cooperation between Russia and Pakistan is a threat to India?
Is that a security issue that you are referring to? Look, India and Russia have a strategic and cooperative privileged relationship. We've just completed a very, very successful summit meeting between India and Russia, where we have been assured that nothing that Russia does will adversely impact on our security interest. And therefore, we are confident that our concerns on this matter are understood well by our Russian friends, and they will not do anything that adversely impinges on us. If nobody else has any question, I'd like to thank you all very much, and perhaps in case we don't meet before the end of the year, we see you in the new year. Best wishes and Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you very much.